Hello guys, we have another review for you today, and this time it's J-Stars Victory vs Plus. The version of the game we will be reviewing is the PS4 copy, so let's get started. Some of you might be asking, what is J-Stars Victory vs Plus? Well, let's tell you. It's a fighting game that combines the universes of some of the big weekly Shonen Jump manga series, including former ones and ones that have been transferred to other magazines. For those of you who don't know or might not be familiar with Shonen Jump, it's the manga series such as Dragon Ball, One Piece and Naruto. The fighting in the game is simple, but at the same time it's not boring. You can do various combinations and you do not have to perform insanely long button mashes like you do in some other fighting games. Though we did notice after playing with the same character over and over, you notice that they end up doing the same old moves and it can feel a little bit repetitive. Though if you use an array of the different characters the game offers, you can mix it up a bit. Fights take place in various different arenas and they're based on the characters' universes from the game. You can move and fight in all directions on a 3D battlefield, which is insanely cool where your favourite characters and universes come to life in full front fighting frenzy. Your objective while fighting is to get your team's win gauge at the top of the screen filled, and how do you do this? Simply by defeating an opponent. If the win gauge is full and you are killed or killed by another enemy, after a short delay you will come back to the battlefield and be able to carry on the fight. So if you die or kill the last fighter that needs to win the battle, the match is over. So just make sure you stay on guard and fight like the professionals do.
Players can fight using regular attacks, power attacks, area-based attacks and finishing moves. Using the character's regular attacks are key, as this is where all the combos begin. When using power attacks, these will leave the user open, but if you manage to get the attack off on your opponent, you do a hell of a lot of damage, so use these with caution. Then the area-based attacks are used to do area damage and cover large distances. Each character has a stamina bar that depletes over the course of the fight and can be recovered in many ways. If you have time in battle or plan it right, you can recover that power back by charging your character. You also get the chance while fighting to get a victory burst. These allow for your team for a short period of time to use ultimate attacks that are the character's iconic moves used in the manga and anime. For example, Goku's ultimate attack is the Spirit Bomb. These attacks can really change the tide of battle, so make sure to time them right and land the hit and watch the magic unfold on screen.
The first and most important part of J-Stars that we found is find a character that you like and that suits your playstyle, and then learn their ins and outs. This is the first way you can ensure a path to victory. While you play the game, you start to pick up that some of the characters are just slightly overpowered and you start to realise who to play as. This does make some of the characters redundant, as we personally didn't play as them, and it was a bit of a shame. The characters in the game, as we mentioned before, are made up from the various Shonen Jump characters. With 52 in total, the game has a very big roster and covers the most iconic mangas that Shonen Jump have. Though out of the 52, 39 of them are actually playable as fighting characters and the other 13 are only used as support characters. Support characters are used to aid a player in battle and are summoned for a short period of time to help you change the flow of a battle, if timed right. The support characters are also a key part to getting that team compilation sorted, as some characters like Lala from To Love Ru will come heal you for a short period of time, which gives you an edge over the other team if you might have been low on health. Alternatively, you can use Shitogei from Nisekoi to come in and pull off a massive slap on an opponent, in the good old Tsundere fashion from the series. We aren't going to name all of them, but some of the characters that stood out to us while playing were as followed: Goku, Vegeta and Frieza from Dragon Ball, Luffy and Ace from One Piece, Naruto from Naruto, Koro Sensei from Assassination Classroom, and lastly the one we'll mention is Jintaki from Gintama. The whole roster really adds up for one fun-packed and awesome game, and when you play with certain teams or against certain characters, the little jokes and actions they carry out bring to life the game, making the whole shooting universe come to life in front of you. It's definitely a fan's dream. It also encourages you to watch the series which you may have not watched yet, opening up players to new franchises.
There are various different modes that you can play in J-Stars, so we'll go over each one in enough detail without ruining anything. So to start off with, we'll go through the single player segments. First, let's start with the game's story mode, J-Adventure. This is the main segment to the game, which takes place in Jump World, a world that is a combination of the different characters' universes. At the beginning of the story, each character is preparing for the amazing J Battle Festival. It's a tournament that takes place every 45 years, in which the heroes taking part fight it out to prove which of them is the strongest. The narrative in the game is split between 4 different chapters. These 4 chapters are as stated: the Dynamic Arc, which is focused on Luffy and Ace from One Piece and Seiya from Saint Seiya. The Hope Arc, which is focused on Naruto from Naruto, Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho, and Gon from Hunter x Hunter. The Investigation Arc, which is focused on Toriko and Zebra from Toriko and Goku from the Dragon Ball universe. The last arc is the Pursuit arc, which is focused on the characters Ichigo from Bleach, Ogre from Beelzebub, and Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
In these arcs, you the player go through a story-driven campaign that consists of exploring the world map, battling various opponents and collecting in-game cards that you use to power up your characters. While playing the dynamic arc, you navigate the world in a ship, and at various points in the campaign it gets upgraded so that you can progress, but only after some intense fighting. There isn't just the main story as well. The overworld is littered with side missions and fight training that if you take part in, gives you bonuses and aids in leveling up your character. Though the only thing we felt was wrong with the story is that it lacked cutscenes. We know the cutscenes aren't always needed, but it would have been nice to have some anime cutscenes or even some game cutscenes where had the characters fight it out or just joke around with each other. Instead, you get that in form of text-based talking while the characters' pictures are on screen. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with this, though it can remove you from the story at times and get quite tedious when reading through tons of text. Next is the Victory Road segment of the game. This is a separate mode on the game that lets the player select the perfect team to fight with and battle it out, during which you must complete certain objectives during the battle to be able to progress to the next mission. This is a really fun mode because it gives you a challenge to complete and each stage that you go in is a different challenge. It brings a sense of diversity to the game and makes it feel as if you're not doing the same thing over and over again for no reason. It also gets progressively harder as you go on, so be warned and own your fighting skills with your dream team.
Arcade mode is new to this version of the game. It's very challenging and not for the faint-hearted. Well, we found it challenging. Basically, you select the difficulty level you wish to play, then go through all 6 fights as quick as you can. This mode is very challenging and probably should be played when you have mastered a few of the game's characters, but don't get us wrong, it is very fun. The last single player mode is Free Battle. This can be played on your own or with another person on local offline mode. It's basically just a mode where you choose your characters and fight it out. There is no story to it, it's just a bit of fun. This is the best place to go when you want to try out new characters or master the ones that you know and love. Then there's the multiplayer elements. Really, this only consists of 2 modes, which is ranked matches and friendly matches. You have your own battle record where you can look at your own stats and see how your online matches pan out, and also see the rankings and where you stand with other warriors, ninjas, pirates, you get our drift, in the world. Ranked matches are as they say. You play in a competitive match against another player and are ranked based on the match's outcome. Whereas the friendly matches are for casual online battles where you play with other people that just want a friendly match and are not competitive nuts that want to be the one true Saiyan warrior, the one true Hokage, or the next pirate king. The online just plays out like Free Battle, but you're not playing against AI anymore, you're playing against other people.
These are the last 3 modes, but they're nothing big and add a few more hours to the game. J Customize is where you place the cards that you obtain from the story, or the J Point Shop to power up your characters in battle. Basically, give your characters better stats and bonuses in short. The J Point Shop is where you spend your hard-earned J Points, and J Points are basically the currency in the game. You can buy various items to help out in the story mode or buy new cards for your decks, so that you can get better perks and bonuses to make your favourite characters even stronger. You'll also be able to buy more characters that you can use through the various modes mentioned before. The last mode is Gallery. This is where you can view your battle replays if you've captured your insane moments of glory and awesomeness. You'll also find character information that basically goes through every character in the game and explains what manga they're from, and gives you the basic information about them and their series without spoiling anything. You'll be pleased to hear that a lot of the characters in the game have their original voice actors voicing them. These are the Japanese voice actors, just so you know.
There are 1 or 2 that don't know. The main ones that stood out for us, which we were sad about, were Kuro Sensei from Assassination's Classroom. The voice actor is the one that appears in the OVA episode, and not the anime that was airing recently. Though in all fairness, the game has been out for a while in Japan, so that's probably the reason why. Though it doesn't stop there, the soundtrack used in the game is amazing and uses songs from the series that people know and love. As far as these bits go, it's an ultimate Shonen Jump fans' idol game of fun-packed fighting goodness. Now onto the positives and negatives. Positives: good character roster, easy to pick up and play and enjoy to the fullest, and the voice actors are there, as well as a very good soundtrack. Negatives though, some of the characters feel imbalanced compared to the others, and there's a lack of cutscenes.
Overall, J-Star's Victory vs. Plus is a brilliant title which is a ton of fun. With all of your favourite Shonen Jump characters in one place fighting out for ultimate victory, you can't really go wrong. There are areas in which the game felt a bit lacking. For example, Kuro Sensei felt he moved too slow and he felt he should be able to kick ass a little bit more, as he comes across this way more in the series. Though it makes sense, as if this wasn't done, some of the characters would be very overpowered. Due to this, the game at times feels that it's lacking, though other than that, the gameplay mechanics are brilliant and the jokes and nods to the series, as well as between series, is awesome. It's an incredibly enjoyable experience, and for these reasons we're happy to give J-Star's Victory vs. Plus a CNN score of 4 out of 5.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and if you get the chance, leave a comment down below. We'd love to talk to you guys and hear your thoughts. This is CN Online signing off.